everyone, I'm Holly and I am the maker here at Missouri River Soap, and in this video today I'm making brown sugar and fig goat milk soap. And I'm really excited about this one. This is such just a warm, beautiful fragrance. It definitely gives autumn vibes, but doesn't have to be autumn vibes. So I don't know if I'll keep the name or not, but that is the name of the fragrance, brown sugar and fig. And into my oils here, I have a mixture of olive, coconut, castor, mango butter, shea butter, kokum butter, and apricot kernel oil. I've had to make some adjustments just because of the difficulty of getting cocoa butter, so I'm using a triple butter blend right now, and I'm pretty much obsessed with apricot oil, so I have been adding that into some of my recent batches. So the first thing we're going to do is add in some goat milk. Now it's not a lot. I'm just adding it into my base oils. And I love the addition of milk in soap, but I don't necessarily require a soap that is just a milk soap. So I'm going to get this blended in. Let's see. I am still struggling. I have a new stick blender and it's the All Clad, and I do really love it, but it's incorporating bubbles just as bad as my old blender. I keep trying to slow it down a little bit. Looks like I have some coconut oil here that didn't get melted in, so we're going to clean that up. We don't want all those pieces to go in. And then I need my goggles on to protect my eyeballs. And now we're going to put in the lye solution. It does have some lilant, and that's just a natural reaction with the sodium hydroxide and the air. And I just made this lye solution, what time of day is it? Oh, it's been about 4 hours, but it's not, it's a smidgen warm, but not really that warm. So it is going to go in today. This is a little smaller batch. I'm going to put it in my individual molds, which means I'm not going to have the extras on the side that I usually slice off for samples. Now my oils are at room temperature. While I was making my lye solution, I melted my hard oils, and so that's the coconut and the butters. And then I let it sit for a while, and then I came along and added my liquid oils. Alright, now we're going to be splitting this off and coloring and fragrancing, so this will get blended some more. I just want to make sure that it's emulsified enough that I can go ahead and split it off. Now because this is a smaller batch, I'm not truly sure what amount I'm going to need, so I'm just going to go with 1 liter first. This is probably way too big for my containers are way too big for the batch that I have, and that's fine. I've got a lot going on, as I think you can see. I have stuff over here too, so it's a fun goat milk soap making day for me today. Alright, we can definitely go up quite a bit more. Alright, so now onto these containers. I'm going to have one that I'm just going to leave plain. This fragrance is supposed to discolor the soap tan, which I am hoping for because of the brown sugar. So this one is going to the side for right now. I have mixed up some titanium dioxide, which I'm going to put into one. And so we're just going to put in about half, maybe only a third or so. And then I have some Fantasia purple from Nurture Handmade. And I'm not going to use all of that either. Let's just see what happens. Tap out the air bubbles. I have reduced the water in my batch, so I'm hoping that I don't have a lot of issue with titanium dioxide crackles. I think that would be beautiful in this particular batch. I should probably go ahead and add in my fragrance, but I'm not quite ready for that. I did buy some winter white mica. I don't love it. It's all right. I don't love it. I want this to be a little darker, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my mica, and I did only measure out what can go into a third of this batch. Yes, that's much better. So I got out some purple spatulas, so I do believe that because this is the purple color, it needs to have a purple spatula. So we'll do that. Feels important. Alright, I think I probably should blend it a bit more. But I do feel like I should go ahead and get my fragrance in before I'm doing a lot of blending. So now we're going to bring everybody back over. Let's go ahead and scrape this off. We'll kind of start at the beginning. There shouldn't be enough in this to cause really any issue. Over here. Let's see what happens. I did hear there could be a slight acceleration, so I should be prepared for that. Now these are going to be further along because I've already blended them a bit. A familiar fragrance. I have never used this one before, though I know it's very popular. We're going to stop right there. I'd rather just wait on this batch just a smidgen, just to see what it's doing, as opposed to really getting it moving along. I think I want my plain color to go in first. I'm going to have to be very cautious that I actually pour these evenly. I want the main color in there, and it's almost to coat the bottom. Let's do the purple next. Definitely starting to thicken up. I'm going to move over to this camera momentarily in case I need a screenshot or a pour. Certainly is accelerating. I love when white soap breaks up the batter down in there, the color. Whew, that is really looking yellow, the base color. I love it because that's really what I wanted. Whoa, that is that is getting thick very, very quickly. Yes, indeed. Wow. That's why sometimes it can be a pain working in 2 separate molds just in case it is moving quickly and you're kind of having to stop and start between the 2 molds instead of continuing on with a somewhat fluid motion. Oh, this is going to be such a gorgeous soap. This purple. I hope it stays slash gets a little bit darker if it discolors. I like the idea of both of those. Alright, so we need to get another layer of white, and then we'll better just get the rest of this in. I'm going to try to go up a little higher for my pour so that I can kind of break through the surface a little, though it's not wanting to do that anymore. Alright. Looks like this one needs more. So I'll make sure that I am pouring a little bit more into this one. I love that brown sugar note. That's a really nice note. I can't say that I'm getting a ton of fig. I don't know what fig am I supposed to be getting, really, you know? Because, like, my figgy cream has notes of fig, but it's not like figs. It's more, it has more of a perfumey note, I would say, to it. This is just, I don't know, I do think of something like a warm, nutty fig date type dessert when I smell this, which I think is quite nice. I think I'm going to have the purple on the tippy top here. I'll go ahead and put in this white, and again, I hope these are fairly even. I was wanting to get 3 batches done today, and 3 batches of 2 loaves, and so I had to incorporate these molds. I don't use them a whole lot anymore, though they were freshly made for me when we started back up here in Montana. But I tend to just prefer my molds that hold 2 loaves together, and then I just split them up. I did reduce my lye solution just a little bit. I probably will make a note to go ahead and have that extra water with this batch. Now, if I was just doing, you know, a purple or something, that wouldn't have been much of a deal. This is still workable. At least it's not getting just out of bounds. Alright, so I think I'm just going to move it around just a bit. There's nothing specific, kind of just winging it, but I think that's still going to look really pretty on the top. I like it. Definitely going to have to give it a good smack down, because it is certainly thick. I was just wondering if I should come along with a spoon and still do a little something something. I do want to give this a little spritz of like a gold glitter. I think that would just warm it up and make it look really pretty. But I'm going to put on my mask because this is highly airborne. Alright, so here we have our 2 loaves of a brown sugar and fig fragrance soap. We'll decide on the name later. I just think they turned out quite beautiful. Isn't it pretty? This one doesn't have quite as much. They're fairly similar. I am going to spritz these with a high percentage alcohol. I am going to cover them, and I let them sit for a couple of days before I unmold and cut. I just think that letting them sit in their mold, their temperature is going to come up, and then the temperature is going to go back down. And a lot of times my soaps are still warm after 24 hours. So I just leave them be for about 48 hours. So I'm really excited to see how this one is going to discolor. I think it's going to look really nice. So I'll meet you back here for the cut. Alright, so it's been a few days since I made this soap. And when I unmolded it, it was a very bright yellow, but it's doing its discoloration. You can kind of see some of that awkward color down there on the bottom. It is smelling so good. It was a bit awkward there for like a day, but it smells so good, and it is actually giving me a little bit of my figgy cream soap vibes with brown sugar. It's quite delightful. So let's see. I want to cut one loaf regularly. This is a very, very hard feeling soap already. And so the inside is not going to have the color change yet. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I feel like this camera is a long ways away. I think I need to go fix that. I did not want it to be a super dark color, but now I'm kind of wishing I would have given it a little extra help with like a little brown mica or something. It does smell so very good. So this white top is just a slight discoloration. You can see just real slight. The purple is obviously not as bright, but it's not taking on too much of a discoloration quite yet. This is looking super beautiful. I'm going to do something a little different. I am going to do like a little sampler. So I'm going to cut down the bars into a little different size. I had talked with some people and done a poll on Instagram, and most of you did want a smaller bar. And I got to thinking, and it felt like it was going to start just really confusing things if I changed the entire bar shape and size. And so I finally came to the decision that I will just do like a sampler. And so I am going to just cut this down, this loaf down. I'm going to leave the remainder of the bars the same. But I'm going to cut this at 0.75 inches instead of 1. And then let me see what I think. That way the bars will be a little bit smaller. See, the main thing to keep in mind is I already send out a chunky sample. Most of the samples are about that thick. Maybe, you know, sometimes they're a little thinner sometimes. But, this is going to cure down, so you can kind of see how it has discolored towards the bottom and at the top. I do feel like I would have liked to help it along a little bit more, but we'll see. Brown sugar does kind of have a warmy yellow tone to it. So I'm just thinking here if I like this size or if I want to bring it down just a little bit more. I feel like, so I cut my bars normally at 1 inch. So 0.75 does feel good because it is going to cure down. So we don't have to keep them in order, but if I were to keep them in order, I would go like so, since we've switched directions. Not really. Yes, I guess because the other one, it hangs off the end that way. Ooh, that's a kind of a, that's a really pretty bar. Really like it. And I don't think I'll do a whole bunch. I don't tend to sell a lot of samplers or sets, even though I feel a lot of people ask for them. But when it comes right down to it, people don't tend to buy them. So I guess I still had it backwards there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't want to kind of hold too many back overall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm going to do maybe 12 as a sampler. And I can always break them and sell them individually as well. So let's see what would happen with the remainder of this loaf. How many bars I will get. So to turn this loaf around, I would get, oh, it's easier, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would actually get 8. I'm going to cut a couple more, maybe 3 more. Maybe we'll leave it at 15. I know it doesn't sound like very much, but honest to goodness, they don't tend to, the sets don't tend to sell a whole bunch. And so then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, so that leaves me 22 bars of the regular size. I think that sounds nice. I think that will be a great amount. I was just looking at this too. Look at the difference in the loaf sizes. That's why I don't like working in individual loaves, because I never end up putting the same amount in each one. Hopefully I'll be able to get a picture at the end of this video. It really depends on when I get it edited and uploaded, and if I have a picture of the discoloration yet. But if I don't have a picture at the end of the video, be sure to stay tuned to Instagram and Facebook and sign up for emails on our website. You can check out the video description to get links to all those places, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.